Hello everyone, this is Astronaut 0528 or Sabi Karina Salting reporting about technology stereotype. Technology stereotype is basically the misbeliefs and or fixed judgments about technology, people who utilizes technology. I assume that we are all familiar with the concept of stereotype. It actually has two types. First, we have the positive stereotype. This, from the word itself, is the positive perception of on a certain group which symbolizes their advantage over the other groups. And second is the negative stereotype. This is the undesirable, unobjectionable, or unacceptable attributes or traits of a group or social category members, and this can also happen in technology. Now we will discuss the different technology stereotypes along with its examples, and it can be observed that these are leaning more towards the negative stereotypes. The first stereotype we have is the gender stereotypes. From the word itself, gender, it is the oversimplified perception of someone based on their gender or sex. Best example of this would be in technology, particularly on social media, which men are perceived to be cheaters in a relationship. Refer to this social media post. Furthermore, in terms of academics, women remain underrepresented in STEM according to a report from CHED in 2017. As stated by a women's health and rights group, Philippine Safe Abortion Advocacy Network, out of 7 engineering students, only 2 of them are women. In terms of information technology related courses, there are only 41% women. In fact, as reported from Harvard University in 2022, factors affecting this widening of gender gap is the lack of role models, cultures that excludes women, and the persistence of gender stereotype, particularly on women's intellectual ability. Next, we have the race and ethnicity stereotypes. It is a prejudgment about people based on their race and ethnicity. One of the examples of this is the recent controversy on the misrepresentation of ethnic groups, particularly the misuse of the Ifugaw's bahag on the 4th man of the world pageant swimwear and bahag competition. Next is the sexuality stereotype, which is all over the social media and is still the most controversial stereotype nowadays. It is the belief against people based on their sexual orientation, which led them to harsh discrimination towards people in the LGBTQI. An example would be the recent McDo advertisement to which a Facebook user quoted, "McDo ads promote immoral values." The advertisement starred an LGBT couple's love story in McDonald's. Some of you may know the time when Heart Evangelista was bashed or hated online because of how she flaunts her richness all over the social media accounts. In fact, during the pandemic, when she flaunted her fashionably designed PPE, a doctor in Twitter tweeted he is disappointed with Heart Evangelista, then followed up his sentiments on their struggle wearing the normal PPEs. This type of stereotype is called social class stereotype, to which it is a belief or perception about individuals rooted in their social class that prevents them to have a good access to welfare. In this case, freedom to express. Next we have is the disability stereotypes. This is a belief that a person is incapable because of his or her disability, resulting in exclusion from social engagement. This is also prevalent and can be seen towards all of the social media accounts. One example would be this TikTok video.
Go to lunch in the Jewish community. I won't tell on the bros for them.
And of course, we have the age stereotypes. This is assuming that a person is able or unable to do something because of his or her age. Are you familiar with dapat talaga iba ang Facebook ng matatanda? This is one of the best examples to describe this stereotype. Backed up by a study in 2020, it is reported that older adults tend to avoid using technology due to fear of stereotype threat, which is received from social groups in various social media platforms. In fact, there is a trend nowadays that put an emphasis on having a different Facebook account or Facebook for adults due to their lack of humor, and were always seen as defensive or serious in engaging to different social media posts. Next we have is the nationality stereotype, a presumption about all members of a nation that can be harmful to individuals from that nation who do not conform to the stereotype. One best example of this would be the trend in the Philippines nowadays of finding an AFAM to which is now, according to a post, is a life goal. Religious stereotypes is also prevalent. It is a certain belief or assumption about people based on their religious affiliation, which can lead to fear of religious organizations. One best example of this would be a post from a Christian influencer posted on his account, a comparison of the energy in Taylor Swift's events to worshiping Jesus, which gained a lot of hate and love comments and reactions from the audiences. Most of the fans of Taylor Swift laughed at and made sarcastic comments about this post, while the creator of the post still kept on holding his stand. Lastly, we have the political stereotype, which is a preconceived notion or belief about someone based on their political affiliation. Technology, or social media to be specific, is the ultimate means to spread stereotypes, to which the callers during political campaign last 2022, where people were tagged as kakampink when they wear color pink, and those who wear red and green are tagged as BBM supporters. In fact, there was a viral video reposted from a TikTok user which showed a clip from Vin's sentiments of a kakampink that was forced to get off the tricycle simply because the driver found out that she was voting for Lenny and he was voting for the opposing candidate. From these stereotypes, we can see that all gender, race, ethnicity, political affiliation, age, and class, as in everyone, can be subjects for technology stereotyping, but most research shows that women, LGBT community, and those who belong to the Generation X, or what is known as baby boomers, are more prone to technology stereotyping. Technology reinforces stereotypes by two main things. One is the easy access of all users to different social media platforms allowed widespread of stereotypes around the world since it is readily available for everyone. Two is the bias in machine learning algorithms. A study found out that algorithms tend to classify women with the domestic words such as household chores, men as doctors or engineers, while negative terms were associated with religions and races. Now, let us look at these technology stereotypes on the 6 ethical considerations and challenges and the value that should be considered, as well as what theories can be used to address these. Obviously, discrimination is prevalent on technology stereotypes, which affects the value of diversity or appreciation of diversity. The freedom from biases should also be considered in addressing the issue, as the value of fairness should be practiced in utilizing technology. This can be done through the lens of discourse ethics, which will help in decreasing the gap in all social groups utilizing technology by allowing them to converse about these stereotypes and try to end with a peaceful resolution instead. Aside from this, the right to education is also violated in this stereotyping since it neglected the value of compassion by resorting to giving a fixed judgment on a certain group without giving them a chance to learn. This issue shows lack of accountability of one's actions on technology use, to which everyone should have a social responsibility and accountability on everything they do and post online. We can address this issue by looking in the lens of care ethics. Let's take the issue on gender stereotyping on men and women. Care ethics will help in building healthy relationships between females and males using technology, as it seeks to have interdependence and respect for the well-being of both individuals. Lastly, excessive use of freedom of expression on platforms also conflicted with the value of democracy. There should always be a boundary on the extent of freedom someone can use, especially on technology or social media. The proper use of social media and technology should also be kept in mind to everyone who uses technology. Wise use of resources should be valued to keep beneficial things permissible. This can be solved through the lens of right-based ethics, which is a theory that will help in establishing technology ethics that users can follow and submit to. This involves two rights: positive rights, which involve cooperation and participation of users, and negative rights, simply as tolerance of differences of individuals. There are 5 specific ways and effective ways to handle the issue. Number 1, establish a technology etiquette that applies to all users regardless of gender, race, political and religious affiliations, even disabilities and social classes. Number 2, create publication raising awareness on debunking technology stereotypes. 3. Strengthen the tracking of online or technology discrimination. 4. Conduct special online activities promoting positive representations of all citizens to combat technology stereotypes. And lastly, collaborate with other social media influencers in correcting technology stereotypes.